Alright, so we got the camera back rolling. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Alright, Surah 36. Start at 36, and I'll stop you.
Surah Yasin, verse 36. Glory be to the one who created all things in pairs, be it what the earth produces, their genders, or what they do not know. There is also a sign for them in the night. We strip from it daylight. Then, behold, they are in darkness. The sun travels for its fixed term. That is the design of the Almighty, all-knowing. As for the moon, we have ordained phases for it until it ends up like an old curved palm stalk. It is not for the sun to catch up with the moon, nor does the night outrun the day. Each is traveling in an orbit of their own. Another sign for them is that we carried their ancestors in the fully loaded ark and created for them similar things to ride in.
Alright, now see, the word there is fuluk. Fuluk itself, it means the craft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it back to you. Can you hear me over there?
Yes.
Alright. Glory be to He who created the Muslim world. There is El Azwaj. El Azwaj. Say that word. El Azwaj.
El Azwaj.
That means the mates. He created the mates for you. See that? And then it says, for all of them, of that which El Aj brings forth, and from that which they themselves don't know. So it's telling you that Allah made mates from what you know and from what you don't know. There's an unknown part of you. And these guys are not going to take it and lie about it. Alright, a sign for them is that we remove the daylight from the shadow hour period. And they are mudilikunumun, mudhiluminun, ones left in error. Alright, so, and the sham sun, it says it has an appointed term, which is determined by El Aziz, the mighty. And the El Kimor, determined for its phases until it became an old dry stalk, bent. And it is not possible for the sun and the moon to catch up with each other, nor the loud shadow hour period to precede Al-Nahar, the guy. And each is in its own orbit. Okay, now it says, a sign for them is that we held the Dahuriyatum, their offspring, in a craft. You understand that? A craft. So there's a certain children that's on this planet that were held in a craft.
Like a spaceship?
Like a ship. The word there was fuluk.
Yeah, that's the word for craft.
That means craft. A lot of scholars take this and tie it into Noah. But Noah is not the first boat. It's not the first boat. Because the Bible speaks of a time when God himself hovered amongst the waters. So what was he in? A fuluk. Fuluk. F-U-L-K. Fuluk. A craft. Alright, and we, kalakna, created for them from its likeness that which they will ride, and surely we will drown them if we please. So there will be no screaming for them, and they will not be saved, except a rahmatan from us, and a temporary provision for a time. So the Quran is letting you know they're going to destroy everybody but that which provides. All worthless, all unnecessariness will be taken out with this next flood of information. Now that we know that, I want you to read 45 all the way to 50.
Still, they turn away when it is said to them, beware of what is ahead of you and what is behind you, so you may be shown mercy. Whenever a sign comes to them from their Lord, they turn away from it. And when it is said to them, donate from what God has provided for you, the disbelievers say to the believers, Why should we feed those whom God could have fed if he had willed? You are clearly astray. And they asked the believers, when will this threat come to pass, if what you say is true? They must be awaiting a single blast, which will seize them while they are in worldly disputes. Then they will not be able to make a will, nor can they return to their own people.
All right, so now that we know that, and when it is said to them, tremble and fear, and that which is between your hands and that which is in back of you, perhaps for you, you will be tahamun, shown a yielding. See that? So when you pay attention to what's in front of you, and you develop an awareness for it, that's when he starts to give you his yielding powers. All right, and a sign didn't come to them from the signs of their wrath, who was sustainer, except they were ones who have turned away from it. And when it is said to them, you share willingly from that which the source Allah has provided you. Those who conceal that which they know to be the facts and said to those who are faithful, we only feed whom Allah pleases to feed. Surely you all are clearing straying error. And they said, when it is this promise, surely if you are Zadokon. See, the word there is Zodok. See that? That's the root word of the zodiac. The zodiac goes back to this word, Zadokon. It says, and they say, when is this promise, surely if you are a Zodok or Zadokon. They don't look except a single loud cry, which overtook them, and they are disputing. See, that single loud cry will overtake them. See, when they can't deal with this generation, because if once a few from this generation takes Elijah Muhammad serious, it becomes a loud single cry that's going to overtake them. You understand that? And so they will not be able to make a recommendation, and they will not be returning to Alihum, their family. All right. So now here we go. This is 51. And he blew in the trumpet, so they will be hastening to their wrath from the sepulchre. See that? So the very people themselves, in their dead state, the Quran calls it sepulchre. I want you to read it in your Quran, 51.
It says, the trumpet will be blown, then behold, they will rush from the graves to their Lord.
Now it's a well-known saying that Raphael will blow the trumpet. What is Raphael? Raphael means rising one who has raised up. See? So when the raised up one blows his trumpet, those who hear him, no matter what condition they're in, whether they're dumb, deaf, blind, or dumb, deaf, and blind, they're going to hear it. And they're going to raise themselves up. That's why Elijah said Allah's greatest desire is for you to save yourself. Be a self-savior. See? And it says, and they said, curse be to us from who raised us, from our bed. That is that which El Rahman, the year of promise, and El Mursalun, the one sent Sadaqah, truthfully. So when you say Mursalun, the one sent, another word for Rasulun is the Mursalun. They took the mu off and just put Rasulun. It's still talking about the Moors. See, when it speaks of the Moors, they took it and put the word messenger there. See, this is where the confusion is going on in the translation. The word messenger is not there. The messenger made it known that he was a messenger. That's a certain type of being. And that's an English word itself. So of course, everybody has a message. But he used the word messenger for himself for a reason. All right, so got a couple more verses. In Kanat, it says, in that was except a single loud cry. So if they are all together, we will have in our presence the ones who will come. See that? If they are all together, then we will have in our presence the ones who will come. So they can't get to talking and choosing who's who, who's this little fellow, who's that little fellow, and they are not all together yet. You ain't supposed to be looking for no little fellow unless that's y'all all together. And this is what's being produced from y'all. See, these guys are talking past tense. They're not talking after the messenger. They're talking during the messenger. And none of them had that post. All right, so Now that we know that, so on that day, a nafs will be in a state of unjustness for anything, and you will not be rewarded except for that which of you have knowledge of. See, these guys, they have no knowledge on this subject. So how are they supposed to expect rewards for it? What is the knowledge of it? Now here we go. Now read 55.
Indeed, on that day, the residents of paradise will be busy enjoying themselves.
It says, surely the companions of the Jannat. See, that's another garden. The Quran is promising us another garden. The book of Revelations is promising us another garden. So we get another chance to be Adam again. This time, let's use the knowledge that we have. We have to rise above the knowledge of good and evil. We done wasted that time. We done bit through that. We done bit from that already. We done already been to war with the serpent. Now this serpent is no longer a serpent. He's a great dragon now. And he's waiting to devour this generation that's rising up against him. It says that when she was giving birth to the child, the red dragon was there to devour it. Think over that for a minute. Now that we know that, let's read. It says, and on that day we'll have joy in what they do. You understand that? What they do is going to be their heaven. So the Quran is telling you that a state of joy is your actions. So of course heaven and hell is a mind state. Because what you do with your mind can bring you joy or it can bring you pain. But it's what you do according to the Quran. All right, now let's read some more. Go to 56.
They and their spouses will be in shade, reclining on couches.
It says they and azwajahum, see their mates, will be in zilal, shadows, relaxing on the reclining couches. The shadow ain't nothing but a galaxy when you pay attention to it. So it's going to be a sun there in order for it to be a shade there. See, there's nothing spooky about what we say. If it's a shadow there, that means it's a spirit. This is a physical place.
Because shade is the blockage of light.
For them in it will be fa'ikihat, fruits, and for them will be that whichever they call upon. Fa'ikihat, fruits. Now, what was the number one name that Elijah gave to us?
FOI, fruit of Islam.
Fa'ikihat, fruits. That's right. Now that we know that, it says, now read number 58.
In peace will be their greeting from the merciful Lord. Salam.
Salam is a saying from a merciful Rab who is sustainer. So the Quran is telling you that salam is a saying from a merciful Rab who is sustainer. So who taught us how to greet each other? Who taught us how to greet each other? According to the Quran, Allah is who taught us how to say Assalamu alaikum. And it says, go to 59, read it again. 59. And you set yourselves.
Then the disbelievers will be told, step away from the believers this day, O wicked ones.
So the Quran is teaching about a day of separation, not integration. We not kissing no father pleasure according to the Quran. Now, in the Quran, in this translation, it says, and you set yourselves apart today. You got to set yourself in heaven at once. You got to separate yourself. You had to have a list of things from Elijah Muhammad that you will not tolerate people violate in front of you. It says, oh, you set yourselves apart today. Oh, you those who commit crimes. See that? That's the guilty ones. All right. Now, this is very important. 60 and 61. Read it.
Did I not command you, O children of Adam, not to follow Satan, for he is truly your sworn enemy, but to worship me alone? This is the straight path.
So here, and as we retranslate it in our best ability of English, using the Arabic words, it says, did I not make a ahad? That's the word there, covenant. Did I not make a covenant? But the root word is ahad. Did I not make an ahad with you of, he says, with you them. See? That you are not to slave. So that means it's letting them know, all the children of the earth. Did I not make a covenant with you? Did I not make an ahad with you? And it says that you should not slave El Shatan. You shouldn't work for Washington. In 1555, John Hopkins came to Rich Nile Valley of Egypt, the original Muslims, and he gave them an opportunity to slave for Washington. And he used the word gold. John Hopkins. So the Quran talks about Washington before America mentions Washington. The Quran calls it El Shatan. It tells us not to slave for them. So how did we end up in America in slavery? By violating this scripture. It says it right here. Do not slave for El Shatan. Surely he is a clear enemy. Lakum. Lakum. Lakum means for you. And that you are to abidunui. Aabu. Duni. Abanu. Uni. It means slave. And that you are to slave me. See that? This is a narrow path of the ones who stand up straight. So it's not a big old path. It's not no 2 messenger path. It's not no 3 messenger path. It's narrow, very narrow. It says, now read 62 and 63.
Yet he already misled great multitudes of you. Did you not have any sense? This is the hell you were warned of.
See? And indeed he led astray from you a whole multitude. So didn't you comprehend it? Farad allowed you to see Wallace take you off the path. And everybody that didn't get taken off the path, that was the separation. The John Muhammads. And the people who supported John Muhammad. John Muhammad held himself up way longer. If you pay attention, you talk about doing the math. John Muhammad gave us 74 years of his life straight. And nobody ever did that. When you count 1931 all the way to 2005, John Muhammad gave you 74 years of his life. So where do we get the right to overlook him? And this is the Jahannam, the hell, or purgatory. Purgatory, which you were promised. So there's a purging that's got to take place. The Quran calls it Jahannam. This is the day of the purge. All right, now 64.
Burn in it today for your disbelief.
Cast into it. The day with that which you were concealing, what you knew to be the facts. The day, Na'atim, we will seal on their mouths, and their hands will speak to us, and their legs will watch that which they were to earn. So what they do with their legs, the brother said, I got my name from the third messenger. What you did with your history is what you did with your legs. And I'm going to take your legs and snatch them off before I let you lie to my people. Take your name and throw it away and come over here to New Salam and get your official name. All right, read number 66, brother.
Had we willed, we could have easily blinded their eyes, so they would struggle to find their way. How then could they see?
And if we please to make ourselves lusterless on their eyes. Think over that for a minute. So they run to the narrow path, so surely how will they see? See, the Quran is asking them, if you running just because we chasing you, how are you supposed to see which direction you going in? The only time they run to a scripture is when we throw it at them. Then they want to run and read the Quran and put it down after that to challenge us. But they don't pick it up to defend us. All right, 67.
And, had we willed, we could have transfigured them on the spot, so they could neither progress forward nor turn back.
And if we please to make them transform on their places, so that what can they do? Departing. And they will not be able to return. So if we transform your conversation, if I take your conversation and use it against you, how you going to flip it on me? Keep going.
And whoever we grant a long life, we reverse them in development. Will they not then understand?
And whom we grant the long life, we lower him in the color creation. So do not they have any intelligence? Go ahead.
we have not taught him poetry, nor is it fitting for him. This is only a reminder in a clear Quran to warn whoever is alive and fulfill the decree against the disbelievers.
Not a messenger. I'll read it for you in Arabic. And we have not taught him el-Shari. See, the Shiites and all of them try to add in poetry. Muslima Hanafi, the white Muhammad, who was 22 years older than the black Muhammad, he was a poet. And he got into it with the real Muhammad about trying to slide in poetry into the Quran. And the real Muhammad said, "You're not here to teach poetry, brother." And he started to shun all the Muslim sons he had. He started to shun all white people who tried to learn Islam. Study the truth of there's a 22-year-old Muslima claiming to be Muhammad. He was born 22 years before Muhammad, and when Muhammad finally met him, he was already in his 40s. Thus, in Orthodox Islam, you got a saying that you have to be 40 years old to receive a blessing. All right, so now that we know that, and we taught, it says, and we have not taught him al-Shiri, the poetry, and it's not desirable for him. See, he don't even desire the foolish music y'all listening to. Surely it is nothing except a dhikrun, reminder, and a mu'ibin, clear Quran. See, he's not a messenger, for he has to warn who is living and make the saying truthful on the ones who conceal that which they know to be the facts. He got to make the sayings truthful. That means he got to show and prove what this Quran is teaching. You can't take this Quran and take the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and teach against Farad. You can't do it. All right, now read 71.
Do they not see that we single-handedly created for them, among other things, cattle which are under their control?
It says, or don't they see that surely we khalaqnaha lahum, created for them mima. See, mima means from what? Adina. Our hands, amilat, worked. See? Cattle. So they malikun are rulers. Lahiya for it. See, the Quran is telling you, you are angels on the level of ruling over the cows. It tells you you are an angel when it comes to this earth. You are an angel that was given to the earth as a blessing to sustain it and as an inheritor of it if you inherit it properly. They're telling us that we're going to all be messengers. We're going to all be malakun. The word there is ma'ali'ikun, or rulers, lahe for it. It says, gave them dominions, rulers over all the creatures of the planet. Okay, go ahead. 72.
And we have subjected these animals to them, so they may ride some and eat others, and they derive from them other benefits and drinks. Will they not then give thanks?
And we humbled them. So how did the cattle allow you to eat them? The Quran tells you that they did something to them genetically that made them serve you without fighting you. See, that's Allah doing that. And for them it are benefits and drinks, so they will not be great. And they have taken from beside Allah alihat, another Allah. And by doing that, they've taken on another messenger. Because they're taking on another message. They have turned this into the day of when they are taking alihat instead of taking Allah. Sources, perhaps that they might be aided. See, they think that's going to aid them. Dude said, I'm plugged. He think he's ahead of the game. Nah, brother, the Quran said if you disbelieve while the messenger is here, you're going to be further from the belief when the messenger is gone. And here we are, a new generation, and we're here to checkmate you before I let you tear me down. Okay, now, 75.
They cannot help the pagans, even though they serve the idols as dedicated gods.
Now, we know that, see, the word there is not pagan, because we are a nation. The word pagan means any nation or anything that has a constitution or any page. So we know the word pagan is not there. The Arabic word defines it all. They will not be able to receive their aid, and for them is a gundun, not pagan. Gundun, G-U-N-D-U-N. Gundun, it means army. For them is an army that will be brought in their possession. See? So we're talking about the coming of all of the Sumerian tablets, all the prophecies of a galactic fight taking place. We got armies on the way to protect us. And they're in the sky. They are galactic confederacies, that, according to this Quran. It says, so don't grieve. What it say? 76.
So do not let their words grieve you. Indeed, we know what they conceal and what they reveal.
Because remember, this is the book of secretion. We only got a couple more verses. So don't grieve about their saying. Surely we know which they do in secret and that which they make known. So everything they make known is they're mixing in with us. Prior to the white man mixing in with us, he was a secret. Secret means family. It means secretions. We are the secretions of Allah. And some people are the secretions of the devil. So we know what they do when they're not around us. See? We know that they're guilty in all their affairs. We know that. All right, so let's go here. Let's go to 77. Almost done.
Do people not see that we have created them from a sperm drop? Then behold, they openly challenge us. And they argue with us, forgetting they were created, saying, who will give life to decayed bones? Say, they will be revived by the one who produced them the first time.
See that?
For he has perfect knowledge of every created being.
They didn't expect us to be raised, man. They wanted to leave us dead in America. All right, now the word there is or el-insan. Insan, the first time this is mentioned, is dealing with the son of Seth, Enos. El-insan, the el-insane, those who are forgetful. And it says, surely we created him. So he's talking about one person, Enos. El-Enos. And he's calling them the people of Enos. Or Enos does not see, surely created him from a nutfa. Nutfa, life germ, sperm. So then he's a clear kasum, opponent, or a clone. See? So it's telling us that there's a group of human beings that are actually clones of other human beings. And the Quran separates them from everybody else. It calls them el-insan. These are clones. Remember, when Cain killed Abel, they had to clone another child for him to replace Abel. See, people got to talk. And he struck a likeness for us. And he forgot. Kalak kahu. See, his creation. He said, who gives life to the bones and they are decayed? See that? And that's why we call the Caucasian the Caucasus Asian. He is the decayed Asian. He ain't no fresh Asian. It says right here, say he gives life to them which he created. For the first time, and he is knowing with all creations. We know how to deal with black people, and we know how to deal with white people. That's why we can give white people pig body parts when they go into the hospital, and we know not to give black people pig body parts when they go into the hospital. Because one is decayed, and one is decaying. It's two different things. All right, so, and it is he who made for